Hello Doraemon, so welcome back to my channel. So for today's video I have the Python question which is asked on 28th February. I hope the last video was helpful to you guys because I have posted on a live demo of how you can crack the IRA with the minimum amount of coding, and I hope by this time you have watched this video, and in that I've used this question to solve some of the cases, not the entirely question, solve some of the cases from the question, and you can either get half marks like 20 marks, 20 to 30 marks if you are lucky, and if your code at least passes 3 test cases you can even get 30 marks. So that was an exact live demo of how to do that, and I said no hard coding should be done as like that. And if you consider this question to crack it in that way, it's it's kind of I don't have words. It is the very easiest question, and if you read just the important points you can just crack this question. I have seen people cracking this question. One of my subscribers also got this question passed, and I think they have cracked the IRA. At least they might have got 55 and they're getting incentive. So let's get into the question. So what they'll give is they have going to give ID of the ticket and name of the owner and SLA of the ticket, the time in hours within which the ticket needs to be solved. And we have to create two cases for two objects for our own, which is ticket status and ticket priority. And yeah, so for the SLA case, they have given if the SLA of the ticket is less than 3, then this priority should be set to high. And if the SLA of the ticket is greater than or equal to 3 and less than 5, then the priority should be set to medium. If the SLA of the ticket is greater than or equal to 5 and less than or equal to 10, then the priority should be set to low. So if it is less than 3, it should be set to high, and if the SLA of the ticket is greater than or equal to 3 and less than 5, it should be set to medium, like that. If it is greater than 5, then it should be set to low. So that's what the SLA which is given for the priority. And let's have a look at the status. So basically what we are going to do is we are going to consider this one. We are going to, if it is like 3, it is exactly 3, so the status for this one will be medium. And next one, so the SLA for Feroz is 2, so it is less than 3, so it is going to be high. And for the status for Janet is 1, it is also less than 3, it's going to be high. And for Thomas it is 1 again, it is going to be high. So that is what is printed here. For 1 it is medium, and for 2 it is high, and for 3 it is again high, which is the number of Janet. And for Thomas it is going to be also high. And yeah, over here we have again the ticket names, and we're going to put it as open, closed. So yeah, over here they'll be passing as one input which is high, and we have to compare it with this priorities. If it matches with this, then those status should be closed. If it is not matching, then the status should be open. So this is the exact solution for this question, and I've partially solved this question in the last video. So if you have not watched that video, I'll link that video in the card so you can have a look. And again, yeah, so if it doesn't match, as you can see there is no low over here, so we'll be printing oops, no record is found. So let's create our object structure first. So first create the class object. As we already know, the main structure needs to be followed. I'll be typing this in every video so that you get practice to do this. And I'm going to pass the ID and the name, which is Yan, and the SLA, let's keep it as SL, and then the ticket status and the priority. So the status is yes. I think I don't want to declare the status. I'll tell you why. I'm going to just declare the priority as P, and I here I'm going to declare those how it should be recognized hereafter. So self.id is equal to id, and self.name is going to be name, and and self.sl is going to be sl, and self.priority is going to be. So we are not going to get any input for the priority, so I'm going to declare it as an empty string, because we'll be assigning this priority when in this input part. So coming to the structure of how we are going to get only the ID, name, and the SLA. Like for this one, it is 1, Edward, and 3, and over here it is for Pharaoh's and name and the SLA, and again the ticket ID, name, and SLA, and again the ticket ID, name, and SLA, and it's going to be the priority. So let's for this only I've left it here, and let's declare our main class. So class main, and here I will be declaring the again init, and here we'll be passing a list called elist, as you already know, and let's declare that name over here. So I've got elist is equal to elist, and the two functions as always, fun1 of self and pass, and again def of fun2 of self. And yeah, so now we are going to the main function. So if name is there's 2 underscores between them, equal to main. So usually we'll declare the flist first over here, and then the n is equal to int of input. So it is going to be different. It is not the same as the last video. It is going to be a little bit different, because it is going to be solved exactly to pass all the 4 test cases. So for this input part will be same, I guess, for in range of n, and we are going to get the id, which I'm going to put it as in p. Okay, let it be ids is equal to int of input, and name, it is going to be input as it is a string, and the SLA. So here I'm going to give SLA and int of input, and let's pass it over there. So here we're not going to pass it over here, so inside the structure alone I'm defining one thing as p and assigning it to an empty string. So now let's append it to the list. So flist dot append of object, and we are going to pass IDS, name, and SLA. So yeah, so after this we have to get the priority also. Like I'm going to get PRA to priority and get it as input. Now it is done. We have got all the input, I guess. Now let's copy paste it and run it. Let me do it real quick. Done. So let's print a statement over here. Print success. Done. Yes, so now we have not got any errors. We are good to go. So let's declare our object. Object is equal to main of flist, and by using the object we are going to call the 2 functions, so fun1 and object or fun2. So in the fun2 part only I'm going to pass this PRA, so I'm just passing it, and here I'm going to get it in the name of PR. Okay, so now we are going to iterate through the list, and we are going to set this P first. So let's do that. So if, just consider the cases which is given over here. So let's go to that part and do it. So if the SLA of the ticket is less than 3, then the priority will be set to high. So let's quickly do that. If the SLA is less than 3, it should be high. So here, no, so first we have to iterate through the list. For I in self.alist, so below this, if the SLA, it is I.sl, so if I.sl is less than 3, then I.p is equal to high. So I'll just do that. And let's go for another LF. Let's go to another one. If the SLA of the ticket is greater than or equal to 3 and less than 5. It is, so s.sl is greater than or equal to 3 and it should be less than 5. Then the status is medium, so here I'm going to put I.p is equal to medium. So be careful with the cases. If even the cases changes, you will get an error. And else, so if there is no other while if it is 0 or like that, we don't have to do anything. So if I'll declare it here itself, in the else case we'll put it as empty string itself. So if the SLA of the ticket is greater than or equal to 5 and less than 10, so let's just copy paste this thing. If it is greater than or equal to 5 and if it is less than 10, then it is low. I.p is equal to low. And it's done. So in the else case, I'm going to put if any other value, whether we are getting 0, even 0, I think it is going to be high. But if it is getting some minus number or something, we don't have to consider it. This is an exceptional case. If you want, you can do it. If not, it's totally fine. Read through the question if you want to do it or not. So I'm just going to keep it as empty. And yeah. So now we have to print their IDs and the SLA. So let's print it. So for I in self.elist, we are going to print the ID, which is I.id, comma, and a little space, and we are going to give I.p. So let's see what we are getting. Yeah, so we are getting one as medium and other as high. So now we have to arrange it in a correct order. So we are just going to use sort as we always do. So just instead of sorting, what I'm going to do is I'm going to declare a dictionary, and which can be used for fun2 also. Even without using fun2, we can do it. So I'm going to dictionary and add these two to it real quick. So it's going to be ddic, and I'm passing this ID as key, and I'm giving the value as this medium or high, like that. And in this I'm going to sort it. You all know how to sort, I guess. So let's see how our dictionary looks. Ddic, yeah, it is fine. So now we have to sort it. So ddic is equal to list of sorted of, you guys know this, I guess. So here I'll be putting ddic dot items, and over here we're going to give key is equal to lambda of x is to x of 0. Okay, now let's run it and let's print the ddic. Oops, I converted into a list. It should be converted into a dictionary. Okay, Yeah, so now it got arranged perfectly. Now we are going to print it separately. So let's do that. So for I and DDIC, so this is a whole long process. Like in the previous video, it was like very simple and it got printed soon, but over here it's taking a lot of time. Yeah, so I'm going to put DDIC of I and let's run it. Perfect. So now the first set of output is ready, and using this dictionary itself we are going to compare this thing. So I'm going to remove this real quick, the font too, and here itself I'm passing that PR, which is we're having, and don't forget to remove it here also. Font 2 we're deleting it, and the PRA is passed in the font 1, and over here again we are going to iterate through the list. So for I in DDIC, if we are going to take only the value DDIC of I dot lower is equal to PRA dot lower. If it is high, if both things are high, then it should be printing it as closed. If not, it should print it as open. So here we can directly print it, we don't need to store anything. So that's the reason I didn't put the status object over here. I just use the priority one. And if it is equal to high, then we are going to print the I and a little space, and then we are going to put over here inside itself we can put closed. And yeah, so else then we are going to print like it is open. So let's open. Yeah, so now let's run and see it. Yeah, so we got the exact output. So if in case it is not getting if it is not equal to this thing, and if it doesn't find any of these things as you can see, there is no low, it is not equal. So if we are given it as else, and it will print like everything is closed. So it won't consider it whether it is high or low, it's not available. So we have to consider this case over here for low. Over here it should print oops, no record is found. So over here it is not available. So we have to once check whether the value is available in the DDIC, and only if, then we have to just do this. So let's compare that part also. So to solve this, what I'm going to do is I'm going to declare a little variable, like a boolean variable. So I'm naming it as J and I'm putting it as false, just in case. I'm just giving it as false, and here I'm going to iterate through the list and make it into true. So if it is true, then only it should compare again and print these things. If not, then it should print like no, oops, no record is found. So what I'm going to do here is I'm just going to copy paste this thing again over here, but this time only if G. If it is true, it will directly enter into this part and it will print whether it is open or closed. And if else, it should print like no record is found. Print oops, 2 dots and a space, and then no records found. So yeah, I think this should work fine. Okay, so it is, wait a minute, what just happened? Okay, let me quickly rephrase it. here I didn't give it as G, I've given it as F, so it should be changed. Okay, now I think it will work fine. Yes, and for the high part it worked good. And now let's check for the low. I'm just going to remove the high and put it as low. Yes, so this is the code which can be done to like get all the test cases passed. Yeah, so what do you think about this code? I think this code is pretty useful because I think this code is pretty long. You have to sort it most of the times, and you should consider this thing. And this can also be done in the function. You can pass it to the next function too. And yeah, what do you think about this question, and how many of you solved this question in this IRA? And yeah, as many people requested, here's the solution for 28th February IRA Python question. I hope you liked this video, and if this video was useful to you guys, consider hitting that subscribe button and also like the video for more videos like this. And yeah, if you like my channel, please consider subscribing and hit on the bell icon. I will be posting not every alternate day. I'll try to post every alternate day, but before ARA I'll be posting it in for sure. So it is better to subscribe, and you will get notified once I post the videos. So yeah, that's it for this video. I hope you guys like the video, and if you feel it as useful, share it with your friends too who are writing an IRA. And that's it for this video. I'm hoping to see you guys in the next one, and this is your very own code Doraemon signing off. Keep learning and keep rocking. Peace out. Cheers. Bye.